Occasionally you're going to see a little blip here and there of the graphics kind of triggering off and on when my camera dips down and touches the ground. That's not unusual that I've noticed in some of the cities, but it's something that I'm sure is either it can be fixed, or if not, then just don't bury your camera into the ground and I guess we'll be okay. But here is the main area, the one to the right, thank you. This is
for the battle for the mists.
all of the gates are pretty much right here. You could pretty much almost go anywhere you want from those gates. This whole area here is Fort Mariner, and this is where obviously there's a little bit of training and whatnot going on. Like a staging ground, it looks like. Should you ever want to siege the Eternal Battlegrounds, maybe via the gates, who knows? Leaving this, we're gonna head on over to the Far Shore Ward, which is all the way across that bridge over there. I think, do I detour here? I do. I do a lot of detouring to explore some. I couldn't remember if I had actually taken this particular one or not. But there's just, there's what looks like a Spanish-style building up here, up to the top of that hill right there. I guess I'm gonna, go and collect this. There we go. Need that XP. I actually leveled during the Asura Radisum city tour. I actually leveled while doing that one. That was kind of funny. Like right at the end, just closing, and then I think right after I finished recording, I was like, ding, I was like, oh, sweet. Here we go. We're gonna go and explore this. It's like a bell tower of sorts. Nothing clickable, unfortunately. I would love to to ring that bell over and over again. Now, I've mentioned before, Guild Wars 2 provides you with paths, but it doesn't mean you can't forge your own path and make it work. Here's another great example of that. These ledges exist. Whereas in most games, there might not be ledges close enough together for you to pull this off, or any ledges at all. It might just be one flat surface. But they're there, and I managed to make that jump without taking any damage. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you play as many MMOs as I have, trust me, little details like that really make a huge difference. Really, really nice looking waterfall in the back. Just sucking in the frames. Just suck it in. You can see the blips here every once in a while. Now, a little mention about the frame rates. Every once in a while, you're going to see a dip. When I'm not recording, I'll get... Lion's Art's a little bit different. It's a little bit lower than what I'm used to, but it's like 60 to 70 frames per second. But occasionally, it'll just dip every once in a while when I'm not recording, right? Down to like 30, 40. I believe there is a couple glitches here and there. Not glitches, I don't want to say that, but a couple of areas that really put a damper on your frame rate, but just momentarily. When I'm recording, the problem is amplified because now my computer is not just rendering what I see, it's also rendering a file of everything that I see. So you run into problems where the frame rate will dip down to unacceptable levels. And so you'll see that happen occasionally from here and there. But for the most part, it's definitely reasonable enough for us to all sit here and enjoy it, in my opinion. Otherwise, I wouldn't do the videos. It's borderline, mind you, but I still think this is very watchable. Now, some of you are going to ask what my specs are. It doesn't really matter what the specs are because games aren't designed to be recorded. So telling you my specs and then you looking at this footage, you might think, oh my god, this game needs to be optimized, holy crap. And while there might be some truth to that, it's nowhere near what you would gather from this footage versus my specs, because again, I'm recording. Games are not designed. They don't build games saying we should make this so it's really easy to record. There's a cave back here, and then another cave beyond that I'm sure some of you would like to go and explore once the game launches. But not today. We're trying to stay within the city limits. So this should take us around the... I think we're coming up on the northeastern point. I believe that's what we just passed through. So now we're gonna hit another checkpoint here soon. Yeah, there you go. That guy right there. Okay. It's a portal that'll take you out of the city. I like that the city is so big that it is actually divided up into wards, very similar to, say, like New York, how you have the boroughs. So you have like the Blood Coast Ward, which is right after Fort Mariner back there. You have Far Shore Ward. Then you have Poston Ward, which is the most recent ward we just left. And now we're approaching the Eastern Ward, which is right over here and to the right. But the Eastern Ward is not up here. I believe it's down there. In order to get there, we're going to have to go through the ship. I like how the ship is just part of the path. It's like, oh, running along a road, all of a sudden, giant ship. Hinged and hung from the air. Be smart. There we go. So now we're approaching the Grand Plaza, or is it Grand Plaza or Grand Piazza? I'm not quite sure. It's grand nonetheless. This is where the Lion's Arch, the epic, the iconic statue is located.
Yes, it could commemorate the Speaker of the Dragon's death.
We'll take a nice stroll through here. We're gonna hear lots of voices too. I'm sure if you stand right here, you hear all kinds of stuff, especially over the course of maybe like 10 or 15 minutes.
So many notorious killers and brigands roam freely around the city. Killers and brigands kept this city alive after the flood.
That over there, I believe that is the Traders Forum, but we're gonna take a high route that's actually gonna lead to a dead end here eventually. I think this is me checking to make sure that's the way I came from. It's like, okay, big giant ship, that's where I came from. Now we're gonna head into the Eastern Ward, and this is very interesting. What you're about to see is actually very, very cool. You see we have a whole bunch of gates under construction. A couple of Asura, essentially foremen, I'm sure, supervising, doing what they do best, and bossing people around and being rude. But I looked it up. Nobody has made any connection with this to Guild Wars 1. Most of the speculation that I've seen on, say, I think Guild Wars 2 Guru, has been speculating that this could be just hints of areas of expansion. So as the game grows, they can just add gates and finish gates in there, which is a very, very cool concept. Now, down here, if we were to continue running this all the way around, we would get to the Traders Forum. But again, we're going to try to take the high ground, as much high ground as possible, so that we could get a good glimpse of everything. And then what we'll do is we'll start back over in the Grand Piazza and go from there to try to cover all the lower areas. Now, I have this mindset where everything can be climbed or jumped on, like a little kid, right? So you're going to see moments here where I'm just going to run and try to jump on something to see if I can make it happen. Not always successful. A little hole right there. I should be able to fit, but unfortunately, an invisible wall, something you don't see a lot of in Guild Wars 2.
You, punk. You trying to start something? You got a problem?
Yeah. Humans in Savari don't put up much of a fight.
Who would have thought a government run by pirates?
Someone's about to get beat down.
But I get your meaning. Commerce beats combat.
And even diffuses long-standing racial biases.
Did you actually see her?
You never see Kate unless she wants you to.
You never see Kaith unless she wants you to. Those of you who have done the Savari starting area, you got a glimpse of Kaith. I say a glimpse because it's obviously a major character role. So what you saw was more than likely a glimpse. But this is really cool. A catwalk system. Beautiful. The way this is laid out is so, so nice. And this is going to lead up to a really cool, like, kind of upper saloon area. But right now we're running over the Traders Forum and the Canal Ward right there. That's the Canal Ward. So many great shots everywhere. So many moments where I've almost fallen off because I'm trying to keep the camera still while turning with the keyboard. Knowing that I made it still stresses me out. Here we go. Here's an easy vista for you guys, for you explorers. Not all of them are this easy to get. You're gonna have to work for some of them. This one, I guess you could say this one was difficult to get to in that was a very long path that we took just to get up here. And of course you're rewarded by this really, really cool, like I said, it's like an upper saloon where it's strapped in somehow. I don't know how these things are suspended. I don't want to ask. We'll say magic. But clearly the hangout here. You hear whispering here and there. Now, there might be a way down. I didn't find it, and I wanted to continue on. So instead, I just ported back to, again, the Grand Piazza and continued moving forward. Here we go. Great shot of the lion's butt here. Nope, 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 exactly. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. All right, now we're going to go ahead and head into the Traders Forum on the ground floor. Again, we were above that, running around on catwalk systems and floating ships, suspended giant ships. Ching. XP.
I hope you're here to help.
There's a naked girl right there. Weird. Is that a random NPC? Now, the city is empty, not empty, but it's low on player count because we're at the end of the beta here. This is probably about 10:30 at night, end of beta. The end of beta event is going to be happening right outside of Radisson, so people are out there waiting for it to happen. Despite that, the city doesn't feel empty by any means. The NPCs do a good job of filling it in. There's a sewer back there, and we'll check that out in a minute. But first, I want to double back to give you guys a nice full look of as much of this area as possible. Because even though I have not explored it right now at this point, I knew that I wouldn't be disappointed. At no point did I think I should probably not go over there because it's probably a very disappointing area to explore. No, that doesn't happen in Guild Wars 2. Now again, this is the Canal Ward, and up there, that's the catwalk system that we were taking earlier when I was looking down. I suppose I could have just jumped, but you know. Now, every city has an area where you could get a speed buff. I don't want to use a speed buff for the city tours because I want to have a chance to look around. Granted, we just kind of came through here. Every once in a while, I will pull it out when it doesn't look like there's much to look at in a specific area. Like if I'm out of, for example, we're gonna come out of the sewer here. Exploring the sewer, we want to kind of keep it chill, but when we get out of the sewer, we might want to speed things up to get back onto the path. Yeah, these guys, vandals, hoodlums. You always want to look around because you never know when you're going to find a rock that's just high enough for you to jump up and grab onto, and then continue going from there. That's how this game's built.
For food, nothing beats this city. Nothing.
I hear that.
This is sure better than working on the crew back home.
Yeah, good as dead. No more breaking my back for a demented genius.
No more breaking my back for a demented genius. I wonder what that storyline is.
My genius mind always yields results.
Well, there you go. I suppose the question has been answered. Should have guessed that it was an Asura. Probably some Asura somewhere. Now, I've lost track of where I am. It's where we're speeding up to get back onto the path here. I want to say that we are approaching the Western Ward. I'll know as soon as we get around this corner here. Yeah, this looks like the Western Ward. This is more of a commons area. Or not commons, this is more of kind of a suburb area where you have all the homes and everything. I think they're homes. We're gonna explore this first. This is a bridge linking us back to the Grand Piazza, but we're gonna go through it anyways because you have to see this stuff. This again, should I go there? It might not be interesting. I'm an idiot. Of course, it's gonna be interesting. It's Guild Wars 2, and nothing has let me down yet in terms of exploration. So here you go, Grand Piazza. I've settled on Piazza, even though the map that I have up on my other monitor is so small and blurry. I'm just gonna go ahead and settle on Piazza because Plaza doesn't quite sound like that would actually be it. So hopefully I've been wrong this entire time in calling it the Grand Piazza, and I'll have a billion comments telling me that it was a plaza. Yes, love how that works. Excavation in place. Now, Lion's Arch existed in Guild Wars 1, and I'm curious if any of these areas are familiar to those who have played it, and also what kind of progression has taken place between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. Having not played it, I don't know. I'm genuinely curious.
These bars keep running out of ale.
These bars keep running out of ale. They will remember the Norn.
Really? Are you gonna fight in the arena?
So here we go. We're going to the back of the Western Ward here. A vista up there for you agile types.
That's nothing.
And of course,
I once
an
killed
exit
a
over there.
Minotaur. Used it to kill another Minotaur.
I believe that's Hooligan's Route. That exit back there. Now, there is another route to come back this way. Back where I collected that checkpoint, I could have taken the upper route, but I wanted to come along the coast because the coast just seems much more lively than some of the back alley areas. Plus, I wanted to be able to get this view. Look at that. I'm sure everybody who has played any one of the BWEs, you know where we're going right now. But for those, don't spoil it for everybody else. Don't say anything. All we're doing right now is we're just gonna climb up to the top, to the peak, and get a nice view of the city. Or as much as we can see from up here. Yeah, that guy. So here we are. This is the the highest point, I believe, in Lion's Arch. Doesn't matter if it is or not. All that matters is that I have my fancy goggles on and my swimsuit. And I'm clearly tired. Yawn. But we're gonna go ahead and go for a dip. Computer choking up. It's like redraw. And then once you actually come down here, there's a whole nother area to explore. There are things down here that you're probably gonna want to come down and explore to discover. There's actually a water organ. I don't know if it's in this vicinity or not, but having watched the video, it looks like it's down here somewhere. Not quite sure, but that's just one of like a billion things that you're gonna find by exploring. And I think that's one of the best parts about Guild Wars 2 is that they define a path, but they also allow you to define the path for yourself. It being that you can explore, or you can PvP, or you could do kind of like whatever you want. Very cool area. I don't know the significance of some of these statues that are down here underwater. That's strange. Don't even know what's happening back there. But anyways, my name is Mike B, aka Phony. This concludes our tour. And this concludes our tour of Guild Wars 2, Lion's Arch, the main city area. Very, very large. I believe this might be one of my longest city tours, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Stay tuned to GameBreaker.tv and, of course, aka Mike B, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff for more Guild Wars 2 coverage, and we'll see you guys later.